very fortunate position to be able to grow the business organically. We're also, frankly, more proactive in looking at acquisitions. This is an industry that finally is going to be able to thrive in the United States, the largest economy in the world. And I think the industry is still underestimating the shift from the headwinds to the tailwinds. That's going to make a bigger difference than people think. And finally, the U.S. market is really unlocked.
So it sounds like what you're saying, acquisitions are almost more of a priority now than an IPO for you. So then what would you be looking for to buy, and how big are you willing to go?
Well, I'm not going to name names, but look, Ripple at its core is a blockchain infrastructure company. We sell our technologies to business, primarily financial institutions, and we'll look at other things that are blockchain infrastructure company.
Breaking news, Ripple offers $5 billion to purchase Circle USDC. And what we're talking about this morning is the real business model that's at play here. It's not just a narrative. They are buying out the competition. But Johnny, I'd love to get your reaction, then we'll dive into the article.
Well, Abs, he literally told her right then and there. You heard him say it. We are looking at acquisitions. And she goes, which ones? He started chuckling and laughing. He couldn't tell it. But he knew Circle was on the block. And obviously, here we hear it a few weeks later. The message comes out, Abs. $5 billion. Bro, that's big bucks. And there's a reason why they want to do it. Because when you spend this kind of money, this gets them in the field of play much, much faster than trying to grow organically. I mean, don't forget, Circle's worth $60 billion. $60 billion. RLUSD, I think it's like 13, maybe 300 million. So big difference, helps them accelerate and get in this market much, much faster.
Absolutely agree, Johnny Krypto. And here's the actual details here, guys. Ripple proposed a takeover of Circle for $4 to $5 billion US dollars, but this offer was rejected. Ripple remains interested in Circle, but has not decided whether to make another offer. Tonight, we got an update, and I'm going to provide it here on Good Evening Crypto, guys. There is a massive rumor going around. Ripple CEO upgraded that offer from $5 to $20 billion. Now, this is according to inside sources at Bloomberg. And Johnny, I see your facial expression. I'm sure that's a hint at how you feel about the news. But here's a reality, guys. Undisclosed sources are sometimes accurate, although this may not be a perfect representation of what's happening in the background here. What I think is happening, Johnny, is Ripple is gearing up for another offer. Give me some of your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think they will, but I also like to apply logic and common sense to something. If I'm buying something, Abs, you and I are negotiating a deal, and I offer you $5 million, and you tell me no, do you really think I'm going to come back and I'm going to go right to 12? Here's a thing my father taught me a long time ago. He said, son, you can always go down. You can't go up. So to me, it seems weird that they would go from 5 to 20. It just doesn't feel right. Versus, if this article had said, hey, rumors are Ripple wants to come back and offer $7-8 billion, I could believe that. I'd be like, okay, that sounds reasonable. But to go 4x higher, man, something just that doesn't smell right, Abs. It doesn't feel right to me, but I'm curious what you think.
Let us know underneath the video, guys. One's underneath the video if you believe Ripple is about to offer $20 billion. Two's if you think this is a fake news article. Now, here's what we know for sure, Johnny. Forbes reported this morning. Circle's current market cap is $62 billion for the stablecoin, and they are the most dominant stablecoin by volume inside the United States. Well, this is very important for two reasons. First of all, Ripple just launched their own stablecoin product, RLUSD. Second reason is Ripple has expanded their business products overseas for the last 4 years. They did not have the ability to operate inside the United States. What does that mean? They moved away from domestic and international markets, whether it's Europe, it's Asia, it's Latin America. The purpose of this acquisition would be to give Ripple a regulated way to dominate the stablecoin market inside the United States, not by competing, but by absorbing the biggest competitor in the market. What are some of your thoughts, Johnny, on what this could mean for Ripple if the acquisition were to take place?
Massive, massive for Ripple. Not only does it eliminate your biggest competition, but it now makes you the 800-pound gorilla in the game. You get to kind of smack people around. Here's the other thing you're not thinking about. If they purchase them, they get the whole network, all the relationships, everything that Circle has built that's going to take Ripple years to build is done. It's built. It's over. And here's the best part. The third part, I'll leave you with this, Abs. If this happens and goes through, Ripple can leverage the XRP ledger to execute USDC, which means now they bring more use cases, $60 billion worth of use case, onto the XRP ledger, which means ultimately drives, that whole trading guy I talk about, drives that value up, which means guess what? Price of XRP goes up.
Absolutely, guys. And it's stated in this article, 90% of the companies that Ripple is working with exist outside the United States. This would be a major move for the American markets. But what did Paul Grewal have to say on this issue, Johnny? He predicted that it would take 1 day for XRP to flip Ethereum based on this news. But chat, I'd love to hear underneath the video, do you believe XRP flips Ethereum during this current market cycle? Johnny, one thing is clear, and what we know for sure, it's a new day and age here inside the United States. And whether Ripple's acquisition of Circle comes to fruition, I believe there's several other multi-billion-dollar acquisitions in the works. Any closing remarks for today?
Oh, there's no doubt about it, Abs. This is probably the first of many. And here's the other thing you have to remember. As the price of XRP goes up, so does the bankroll, because they own $43 billion worth. So the more that grows, the more money they got in the bank. What did Brad just tell you he's going to do? He ain't IPOing. He's acquiring, baby. Stay tuned for more videos. You will hear us talking about the next company because Ripple will be buying somebody, Abs. I guarantee you.
And with that being said, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Be sure to subscribe to the new channel. Leave a comment down below. And, of course, smash that like button on the way out of here. We'll see you all in the next one.